Who will take control of the most sophisticated technology in the world, the United States or China? There have been conversations regarding the history of semiconductors as a hot topic and what the future holds for microchips. Semiconductors have become a significant geopolitical concern, particularly in the U.S. and China competition. In the end, this is just an epic narrative of the decade-long fight between the United States and China over control of the world's most important technology, the microchip technology. The United States used to be the world leader in creating the quickest chips, but that advantage is eroding. While the Biden administration works to thwart Beijing's attempts, China is spending billions on chip production for both military and civilian applications in an effort to overtake them. In the meantime, China would love to dominate the world's largest producer of cutting-edge semiconductors, the island of Taiwan. Now, Beijing and Washington are currently vying for supremacy in the production of the minimal microchips that power the military, our cars, phones, and other household goods. See, the United States accounted for nearly all of the chip industry's initial development in the 1960s and 70s. However, as chips became more complicated over the past 50 years, countries started to focus on particular steps in the manufacturing process. Thanks to COVID-related microchip shortages, the recently passed CHIPS Act, the current round of Commerce Department, and export regulations targeting China, the subject of semiconductors is now more important than ever. The significance of the global chip ecosystem and how it affects people's lives are well known. Few people are aware of the semiconductor industry's incredible past and potential future. This has stirred up much interest from people willing to dive into the world of chips and semiconductors. Today, the Cold War with China is being battled in cyberspace, as opposed to the nuclear arms race that characterized the Cold War with the Soviet Union. As a result, Washington blocked the export of advanced semiconductors to China and Russia in late August. Currently, NVIDIA and Advanced Micro Devices are the top chip manufacturers in Silicon Valley. They've been instructed to restrict sales of their premium chips known as graphics processing units, or GPUs. Originally designed to render visuals for video games, GPUs are today used in supercomputers that can distinguish between things in pictures and speech. In essence, they can be employed for gathering artificial intelligence. The Communist Party's official publication asserted on Twitter that China's facial recognition system could quickly scan the faces of its 1.4 billion residents. Additionally, this tweet was published in 2018. As a result, chips with similar performance to the A100 and the impending H100 must now be sold with an export license, according to NVIDIA. The most labor-intensive portions of machine learning utilized in AI are accelerated by these processors. Now, the U.S. government is concerned that the items could be used or diverted to military end use in China and Russia, according to information provided by NVIDIA in an SEC filing. According to NVIDIA's statement, they might suffer a $400 million loss. Beijing is obviously unhappy with the limitations. According to a representative of the Chinese Foreign Ministry, the United States is seeking to put technology constraints on China, and the limitations demonstrate that America is attempting to retain its position as the world's leader in technology. According to the U.S. Department of Commerce, restrictions are put in place to keep advanced technologies out of the wrong hands. These limitations were put in place not long after the Biden administration handed Taiwanese company billions in subsidies in exchange for it not selling its most cutting-edge semiconductor chips to China. The most cutting-edge chips are produced by Taiwan Semiconductor, manufacturing company for almost all businesses on the planet, including NVIDIA and AMD. Morris Chang, a Taiwanese American with degrees from Stanford and MIT, was passed over as Texas Instruments' prospective CEO in the early 1980s. This decision is one of the greatest business mistakes of the 20th century. Chang later accepted a government offer from Taiwan and founded the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, which today produces 90% of the most cutting-edge chips that power computers and iPhones, as well as 30% of the world's processing chips overall. Now, the only businesses that might be in a position to compete with TSMC in the chip manufacturing industry are Samsung in South Korea and Intel in the United States. As a matter of fact, China has been investing more money in purchasing chips than in importing oil. despite being far behind in the development of sophisticated semiconductors. On the other hand, U.S. security is seriously threatened by this. As it stands, chips will be more vital than ever in modern warfare. The military needs faster processing power to support everything from radar systems to communications and data processing to other critical technologies, and autonomous vehicles like drones and attack submarines. The U.S. Commerce Department enacted severe export restrictions in October to defy Beijing and prevent China from acquiring key chip production technologies, including cutting-edge software and the machinery required to make the chips. Additionally, the Biden administration is exerting pressure on reluctant allies like the Netherlands and Japan to stop providing China with other essential components for the chip-making process. Additionally, it discourages Taiwan from providing Beijing with cutting-edge chips. Currently, Taiwan is stuck in the middle, depending on Washington to stop Beijing from annexing the island by force. Yet China is its largest trading partner. The Biden administration pushed through the CHIPS and Science Act, which will give semiconductor firms $52 billion in funding for the construction of high-end chip production facilities in the United States despite the threat. The Inflation Reduction Act also allocates a sizable sum of money for groundbreaking research. As a safeguard against Chinese interference, the administration also succeeded in convincing Taiwan's TSMC to relocate some of its chip production to the United States. On Tuesday, TSMC revealed plans to significantly expand a small production facility it is already constructing in Phoenix, which will result in the production of chips that are more sophisticated than originally anticipated. Today, TSMC has factories in China and the United States, but due to security concerns, its most sophisticated factories remain in Taiwan. It is not surprising that Arizona's Governor, Doug Ducey, is the newest American politician to warm up to Taiwan, given that TSMC is now investing $12 billion in manufacturing. The only businesses in the world producing the $150 million machinery used to pattern the most precise lines on cutting-edge chips is the Dutch company ASML. ASML has been under pressure from the Biden administration to stop exporting even its less complex systems to China, which would be extremely detrimental to Chinese companies that are making their semiconductor chips. These latest U.S. limitations on NVIDIA and AMD are another effort to limit China's technical advancement. Chinese businesses will find it more challenging to use advanced computers for speech and facial recognition without integrated units from those two giants. For example, smartphones frequently have these processors to recognize persons in pictures, but they also have military applications such as searching satellites from military installations or weapons or eavesdropping on conversations and checking faces to gain intelligence. According to claims by Washington, goods purchased in China are ultimately obtained by the Chinese military. And according to reports, these chips are powering a supercomputing facility in China's northwest, Xinjiang province that conducts extensive surveillance to track Uyghurs and other Muslim minorities. Meanwhile, the Phoenix Center won't be operational until at least 2024 and will only barely scratch the surface of U.S. needs. So as a result, Taipei's manufacturing continues to be a source of dependence for the U.S. In the meantime, China's president might become impatient and try to pressurize Taiwan into giving up advanced chips through dangerous economic or even military action. To top it off, chip makers are also under pressure to provide increasingly sophisticated chips. For instance, processors measuring 3 nanometers will be found in Apple's new laptop from the leading manufacturer in the sector. In order to put that into perspective, one strand of human hair is between 50,000 and 100,000 nanometers long. So can you imagine what a 3 nanometer chip would look like? Analysts claim that U.S. restrictions could further isolate China from other chip-producing nations, despite Beijing's clear declaration that it intends to prioritize the production of semiconductors and establish itself as a superpower in the industry. This means that the chip war and its potential to start a genuine war should be of interest to Americans. The future of our computer-driven world will be shaped by these little silicon wafers and whoever has control over them. In the long run, do you think this will trigger a war between China and Taiwan, or do you think the United States should be more concerned? We'd love to know your thoughts in the comments section, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to click that like button. By the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, ensure that you always click the subscribe button, and most importantly, click that bell icon to be notified when a new video is uploaded. Also, feel free to leave a remark as to what you think any recommendations for our videos should be. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll talk to you soon.